The hour-and-a-half delay on the flight from Washington had been caused by a faulty high-frequency radio.
Because we're flying over water, and you go so many miles outside of land over water, the only communication we have is the HF radio. If we were flying over land, that wouldn't be a problem. But because of the fact that we are flying over water, we must have both transceivers, because otherwise we would have no communication with air traffic control. We could not radio in our position and update our position as we progress across the ocean. So that is why the HF radio in this particular situation is so important.
Problems that developed during the ETOP cycles wouldn't necessarily disqualify the plane. What was important was how the airline dealt with them. United had hoped for a quick turnaround to make up some of the lost time, but 2 screws on the radio antenna refused to budge, and the whole process took a lot longer. While the antenna was being fixed, another problem reared its head. Every 30 days, the navigation computer had to be updated with new route information. But the crew had trouble loading the data into one of the 2 navigation computers. Because these flights were a test of United's operating abilities, they were supposed to solve the problems on their own.
I'd be more inclined, than disabling, I'd be more inclined to operate in left or operate in auto for departure, and then if we feel like it's wise to go to left and leave it there, do that.
While the flight crew tried to find a way of flying with one working computer, an FAA observer sat and watched.
Because I'm of the same feeling. I'd like to have that right FMC, and it's not that it's not operating, and it's not that we have to worry about it, and we can still plot and make sure that and if we need to, once we're over land, we can navigate VOR to VOR. I think this might be an FAA trick.
Are you happy with that, Eric?
Yeah, I go along with it. But that means he's not happy.
And I agree with your way of doing it.
I mean, I don't know that they've made a phone call to Seattle, but have they? Okay.
As they might do in normal operations, United was allowed to ask Boeing in Seattle for advice. What they could not do was consult the Boeing engineers on the plane, even though one of them was a computer expert who could have helped. Using the onboard Boeing experts would have been frowned on by the FAA. By midnight, Tweeden decided to let the maintenance people try to solve the problem before morning.
Well, I finally just decided that I would check with operations control, because if it was going to get delayed much more, we were going to have to rest. And the sooner we get started, the better we are tomorrow.
During the night, 2 things happened. United ordered a new computer from San Francisco. When it arrived, the United maintenance crew solved the problem by swapping the new one for the old. The following morning, the test crew boarded Flight 9432 from Honolulu to Washington. The plane was 15 hours late, but lateness was not a disqualification for the 180-minute ETOPS. United and Boeing believed that the previous night's problems, typical of everyday flight, had been handled effectively. Tweeden, who was in charge of the plane, seemed relatively unconcerned about being monitored by the FAA.
Since they're who grant the ETOPS authorizations, 180 minutes is what we're hoping for and planning on, and what the program is designed around. So the FAA needs to be able to determine that our procedures and the way we use the aircraft will justify that authorization. So that's primarily their role at this point. We get on with them fine, and frankly, we work together In fact, before I came up here, we were discussing a couple of items in the manual to address and some things like that. You know, they have an interest in making sure this, at least making sure that the authorization they grant is justified by the performance during these cycles.
Lunchtime was a test of the plane's galley and meal service. The meal was less than a complete success.
Wow, look at this one.
The galley ovens overheated, melting the containers for the mixed nuts. For Bob Ireland, in charge of these ETOPS flights for United, the problems of the last 24 hours had taught him a lesson.
Well, the lesson we learned last night was that we were ready, I think. The fact that something happened could have happened after 2 years of service. Might well have, same thing. It turned out to be a hardware failure, and we handled it. It took a long time. In revenue service, the passengers might not have been inconvenienced for so long because we would have done something else with them. So that made it possibly more dramatic than it would have been to passengers on a regular flight. However, what we showed is that we were able to troubleshoot the problem and eventually get to a solution that was quicker than waiting for the parts to arrive, as our guys got inventive. They used their knowledge, their corporate knowledge that they had, and did something that wasn't necessarily written in the books. They were able to try something that worked.
As the plane landed in Washington, it faced another 50 or so trips around the United States. Then there would be several weeks of analyzing the data before the FAA issued their ETOPS verdict. No one dared to believe that the certification would be denied, so United Airlines prepared for the purchase and delivery of their first plane. Like the owner of a new car, they wanted to make sure everything worked before they accepted it.
See how this thing sits there and rides against this?
That's going to sit there and flop in the wind, and eventually you're going to wear a hole in it, aren't you?
The other condition.
You guys want to bring that up on a customer pickup?
The other condition.
I'm here to verify for United Airlines that the airplane is working as we expected it to work, that everything is put together properly, and I'm sure that it's all been done by Boeing, but because we're paying a lot of money for the airplane, we'd like to have our own people make sure that in fact it's ready.
D1. Okay, priority coming down.
Positive climb, gear up.
5-3 gear coming up. 200 feet to oral.
Boeing 006 heavy experimental contact.
Once in the air, United's quality assurance inspectors got to work. Every element of the plane's interior was checked, and Boeing would be required to fix any mistakes before delivery. Faults and problems were marked with red tape.
Our test pilot up there is accepting the airplane from the standpoint of how well the airplane flies, the system operations in flight, etc. We kind of buy back the airplane on the ground in terms of how do the systems functionally check, are they operating the way they should operate, is the cabin what we expect, is the noise levels within expectations, the windows aren't fogging up, the carpets are laid flat and everything like that.
In spite of intensive efforts by Boeing and the subcontractors, United reluctantly had to accept that the sophisticated video phone computer system in every seat was not going to be completely ready for the inaugural flight. In the middle of the flight, when the plane was at cruise height, it was depressurized to test the doors holding the oxygen masks. The masks themselves weren't meant to come down, but several did.
Repacking these things is quite a job, so we don't want all the doors to open. So they put these little red things in there to hold it, and then obviously this one just wasn't latched. The red thing wasn't in all the way. Those are something that are all removed before delivery of the airplane. And that If you ever have this happen in front of you on a real flight, you pull hard on the mask. When you pull on the mask, it pulls a little key out right here that starts the oxygen generator. So you don't ever try to use the masks when they're hanging here like this, so nothing's coming out of them. Pull them down, and that starts the oxygen to flow. That's what the flight attendants tell you that nobody listens to before every flight.
The complex flight deck was equipped with a huge range of warning systems that alerted the pilot when he was in a dangerous situation. Captain Peterson tested them one by one.
See, I was going to go full cold right here and do all that stuff.
If the plane got into a stall, one of the most dangerous situations when it was flying too slow to generate lift, there was a warning device called a stick shaker.
The stick shaker is something that shakes the stick to tell you, hey, it's time to speed up. You're going too slow. And in this test, not only are we checking the speed at which that works, but because of this airplane and the automatic systems, there's a lot of other protections that as we do it, we're checking. And if you keep negating all that and you force it to go slower, eventually you get the stick shaker that shakes the whole stick, and you can hear it, you can feel it, and it says, you're going too slow, speed up.
118.
Another important check was on the fuel vent system for dumping fuel in certain situations.
When you take off full of fuel going a long way, you actually weigh more than the airplane is stressed for landing. So if you have to turn around and land right away, you really need to lower your weight. So the only way we can do that is to jettison fuel.
After a couple more hours of flying, including practice landings, the United team met to tell Boeing whether they would accept the plane or not. A Boeing pilot ran down the list of problems, or squawks, that United had uncovered.
Basically a real clean airplane up front. We have 3 squawks. First one, using the airplane supplied headsets, and without keying the mic, we have an audio feedback heard whenever talking. And that just depends on how heavy you're breathing on the mic or not, and it may relate to that specific headset. Okay, second one, first officer's windshield wiper fluttering at high airspeeds. We didn't notice it during the first couple of times we were at high speed, but finally coming back across the mountains, it let go. And number 3, 3 latches on the ADP access door were open after flight. Really clean airplane. United have anything like to say about the back end?
We certainly noticed a significant improvement in the cabin noise levels between this and WAF 4. A number of us have been flying out on WAF 4 last month during EVIP, and big improvement noticed in the flight. The lavatory at door 4 left and flush it, it just sounds like a hurricane. I mean, it's much louder than all the other ones. It sounds like there's some sort of adjustment can be made on that that anyone can recognize on the ground.
Is that on one of your pickups?
Did we write that?
Yeah. We'll get the info off. With that said, I guess I'll make the unprecedented step of actually checking the customer acceptance off on this. Probably the first time in history. All right.
I'd just like to add that it's the nicest airplane I think I've flown of this kind. I mean, it's beautiful. It'd be a fine one.
Somehow, French pastry seemed like too mild away to celebrate the first Boeing plane ever to be accepted first time by a purchaser. After the pleasures of the test drive came the sticker shock. It was a surprisingly complicated process that involved lawyers and accountants in 4 states. A lot of money would change hands. Nothing would be done on faith.
With all the cash in. I think there's a box in it, a big cardboard box.
At the FAA's headquarters in Oklahoma City, where the change of ownership would have to be registered, 3 lawyers met to get matters underway. At Citibank in Delaware, where United and Boeing had accounts, the transfer of $100 million or so would take place. The computer keys would be pressed by Brian Todd. United Airline headquarters was in Chicago, and here lawyer David Olassen would get the complex operation underway by starting the conference call.
We're sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number.
What's the... Douglas, I wonder if you can conference this line in when the phone call comes in. 'Cause I don't know how to do it. Sure. I don't want to drop the call by accident. Could you see... could Steve? Sure.
My God, the dress sheet. I need another set. Such great. This is the one I have propped up on my office. I think that is so pretty. That is a good picture. It really is. Did you see?
Tom, the second vermin letter worked okay?
I don't think I want to ask what that one is about.
Oh, there's a spot in the forward galley where the keyboard goes into the attendant workstation.
Uh-huh.
And people looked at it and said that was a good place for cockroaches to hide. So we had to write a letter promising to have the galley modified in that area so that we would have vermin, it would keep the vermin out anyway.
All right.
Conference room.
Rick, this is your conference call. I'm putting it through to you.
Okay.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. If I can be a further operator assistant?
Please depress your star and then your 0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Volume a little bit.
We're here for the closing of the 777 with the U.S. registration number of N777UA. Bob Ireland, can you run through the serial numbers of the airframe and the engines?
Okay, airframe serial number is 29616. We have two Pratt & Whitney PW4077 engines. Position number 1, P777019. And position number 2, P777016.
Very good. Jim, can you authorize transfer of funds?
Sure. Brian, would you debit United Airlines account for the confirmed amount for immediate credit to the Boeing company account?
Sure. Let me put you on hold for 1 moment, and I will give you a confirmation on that.
In each closing, they have outside the room, they have the name of the airlines. And then they always have all these nice trays of Danish and juices and fruits and here we sit.
I know, I can say
We never have had. I know. We sat here waiting for lunch. I should have paid. We should have brought something. Well, we were talking about that last week.
We had an engine change.
We haven't. David? David? David?
Yes, I'm here.
And for the benefit of the folks at Oklahoma City, the receipt from which I was reading had a misprint. The airframe serial number is 26916.
That's much
That's
better.
what we have on the bill of sale.
That's what we have here.
It's correct on the registration application.
Yes.
It's just wrong on the receipt, so we'll get these receipts reprinted.
Okay. 26.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, I really had
Well, that's
heard
what I
that.
thought. I didn't hear the first two digits at all.
26916. That 296, that's only 3,000 down the line from this one. It'll be a while.
He'll get there. Don't worry.
Okay, I guess I have all parties on the phone. I do have a confirmation on the predetermined amount.
Okay, Brian, this is Rick Nelson at Boeing.
Correct.
Would you please call our Treasury Department and inform them that the funds have been transferred?
Boeing had taken great pride in a new and more open management technique based on trust. But that trust stopped short of the company's lawyers, who wouldn't release the plane until they were certain United's money was in their account.
As soon as I get
Verification from our Treasury people, David, of the funds transfer, I'll go ahead and do that.
I got some shrubs. I'm trying to build a protective area from hydrangeas.
I saw some really pretty hydrangeas at home.
Well, Pratt's had some real large ones too. That's where I got Mother's, was Pratt's.
Shirley?
Yes.
Shirley?
Yes, sir.
This is Rick Nelson. I authorize
you to go ahead and date the bill of sale and release it to United for filing.
Okay, I'm going to release the bill of sale from the Boeing Company to Boeing Sales Corporation.
You will then release it to United Airlines?
This is Mary Lou, and I am dating the bill of sale from Boeing Sales Corporation to United Airlines. And I have now released that bill of sale.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Shirley. Patty Hansen, will you?
Please date the aircraft registration application and file it together with the bill of sale.
Okay.
15th of May?
15th of May it is.
15th of May.
We're ready to file?
Yes.
Okay. Be right back with the filing time.
Bob Ireland, while they're filing that,
Will you date the pink slip of the...
registration app?
I have done it, David.
And you'll be putting it aboard the plane?
You bet.
Yep.
Tom? It's on its way.
Okay, it's 8:44.
Okay, may I look, please?
Sure.
David?
Yes.
This is Patty. The documents were filed at 8:44 a.m. CDT.
Very good.
Hey.
I want to thank all who participated in the call.
Big day.
Have a good flight.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Congratulations. All right. Thank you. We own a plane.
It's a done deal here, anyway. Champagne breakfast would be nice.
That's right. We all ought to go to brunch, you know, and have some champagne now.
It only remained for Boeing to hand over to United the key to their first 777.
But certainly not least, on behalf of the Boeing Company, I'd like to present to you the key to your brand new 777 aircraft.
But they still didn't know whether the FAA would approve it for 180-minute ETOPS. That decision was announced just 1 week before United's inaugural flight.
Last night, I was provided a copy of the board's report, in which they recommend that, based on successful completion of a most extraordinary series of tests, analyses, and flight demonstrations, the Boeing 777, equipped with Pratt & Whitney 4084 engines, be type approved for use on extended range operations up to 180 minutes from the nearest adequate airport.
The 777 team was visibly relieved. They had proven their plane more reliable than any previous Boeing plane at entry into service. It was just in time for the hectic schedule of flights that United had planned. Now, for the first time, the new plane could do what it was designed to do: earn lots of money for the airlines that were buying it. United's inaugural flight took place right on schedule. The plane's phones still weren't working, but the airline didn't let that interfere with the celebration. Due to the English pronunciation of inaugural, at least one American passenger thought this was going to be an all-girl flight.
And we had heard that this was going to be an all-female crew today, and to include flight crew, that's what the woman at the confirmation desk.
I don't want to disappoint you, but I saw the pilot.
We worked for about 5 years on developing a part for the fly-by-wire system.
very small but important part. There are 300 of them on each airplane, very unique technically, and I thought it'd be a way to kind of, for our company and for me, to celebrate the success of that program and tell the engineers that I appreciated the work. So it's fun.
Good morning. How are you? 9A and B, Chaco.
There are 8 exit doors on the 777, 4 on each side of the airplane.
And final customers, 12 first class, 47 connoisseur, 170, 170 in coach.
The wind is 310 degrees 13 knots.
Good looking pair of engines there, United. Yeah, it's a really nice plane.
Nearly 5 years earlier, United Airlines had launched Boeing on the path of building the 777 by committing in advance to buying it. Alan Mullally had been the team leader for most of that 5 years. Looking back, he saw the project as a test of a new management philosophy, just as much as it was an experiment in design and engineering.
If I were thinking back to the anxious time, it was more of getting going and having the team all of us be on the same plan, and knowing that it would work, because it had to work. You know, if we simulated all the parts and all the parts started to arrive and they didn't fit, well, it would have been a great idea, but and if the airplane didn't perform well, and if the people really didn't like this environment, that they really wanted to go back to the way we took tests individually in the past, and we were fighting some human characteristic that we didn't know that doesn't really want to work together, well, I think it would have been devastating. And so the minute that the first indications that working together was working, the people were different and had so much more to offer when they're in this environment, and they were willing to share it and do it together. And the minute we saw the parts starting to fit together, and the minute that we had a glimpse that the airplane was going to be able to do what the customers wanted to do, then the rest was just holding on and fighting the day-to-day issues and helping everybody that did the whining, which was okay, to help them find a way to get it done. And to me, the whole rest of the program then was exhilarating. I mean, it had its ups and downs because of the issues, but I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. If you like to design complex, sophisticated, state-of-the-art, fabulous machines, are going to get lots of people together around the world. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than doing a 777 program. And I'll look forward and try to find out or figure out a way over time to get myself in a position where I can do it again, because it's just so much fun.
Examine previously unknown and bizarre creatures on Scientific American Frontiers. Creatures of the Deep, Wednesday evening at 7. Follow one of United Airlines pilots as he test drives the 777 next on 21st Century Jet here on WNIN TV 9.
You're watching WNIN TV 9, Evansville, Henderson, and Owensboro.
to give us his assurance that neither he nor any member of his family has profited from these shabby dealings.
Has Francis Urquhart finally gone too far?
Do you propose to negotiate over the return of the hostages, Prime Minister?
No.
Goodbye, Maria.
Will his past crimes catch up with him?
I don't surrender. I am rock solid. I will survive.
The final cut. Tonight on Mobile Masterpiece Theater.
But you are well prepared.
Again, I am impressed by how much my generation will depend on your generation to achieve the goals that we have sought.
You may remember the story we did last year featuring an IUPUI student who was training for the Paralympics, an international competition for athletes with physical impairments. Trisha Zorn, who is legally blind, traveled to Barcelona, Spain this summer, where she won 10 gold and 2 silver swimming medals. She broke Paralympic records in 7 of those races. Trisha is now a special education teacher in Indianapolis. She was not alone in Barcelona. Frank Epperson, a senior majoring in physical education at IUPUI, competed in 3 Paralympic wheelchair sprints. He finished 5th, 6th, and 8th in his races. Another IU athlete who deserves recognition is Bob Kennedy. Last month, Kennedy won his 2nd NCAA cross-country championship. He now has 4 NCAA running titles and is, without question, one of the best distance runners in the country. He, too, competed in Barcelona last summer and plans to run again in the 1996 Olympics. Kennedy will graduate this year with a degree in business finance. That's all we have time for tonight. I'm Sandy Mathis-Robe. Season's greetings to you and your family from our family here at Indiana University.
We are at halftime. Indiana leads 57-29. Quite an offensive performance by Indiana here in the first half. Calvert Cheney has 21 and Greg Graham has 17. Let's go now to the Bud scoreboard. Other action tonight, Temple plays Big Ten opponent Penn State. Ball State at Butler. Butler leads 23-18 right now against Ball State. Tulsa plays at Arkansas. Missouri visiting Illinois tonight. Tulsa leads that game by 1, 36-35 against Arkansas. Detroit at Wisconsin. And Nebraska playing USC. We'll be back with these messages with more halftime after this.
For almost 40 years, when area farmers have thought of farm equipment, they've thought of Junker Brothers.
Case is proud to have joined together with Junker Brothers to provide the very best in equipment parts and service to area farmers. With men like Ken and Lloyd, we know it's people that make Case.
And Junker Brothers. David, Tony, welcome aboard. Junker Brothers staff is fully trained to provide the best product knowledge and service to area farmers.
Case International and Junker Brothers, an unbeatable combination.
Maintenance, slippery floor in quadrant 2, potential liability. Clean it now. Sales vehicle 4, air reconnaissance shows huge pothole 2 miles ahead. Whoa, smoldering cigarette butt and trash can in section 4A. Boom! Oxygen filters detect the flu virus in the loading dock. Isolate and contain.
You can spend a lot of money protecting your company from risk, or you can save a lot of money by getting a Risk Control Plus review from Federated Insurance. We write it right.
Call Ted Sassy or Scott Kiefner for all your business insurance needs.
Are you a homeowner looking for a financial solution for out-of-control credit card bills, money for spring home improvements, or to tackle other financial worries? U.S. Mortgage Corporation can save you the headache and guesswork by locating the best solution for your financial difficulties. You'd be surprised at how creative they can be. The professionals at U.S. Mortgage Corporation have 55 years combined lending experience. They're always aware of current rates, fees, and lending standards and can get you the best deal. U.S. Mortgage Corporation, 422-2115.
You better sit down, because you're not going to believe this one. Right now at King's, buy any 35-inch or larger big screen TV and get a catnapper recliner free. You heard right. Buy any 35-inch or larger big screen TV from names like RCA, Toshiba, Hitachi, and Magnavox, and you get a free catnapper recliner. Not to mention all the other great deals on name brand electronics, appliances, and computers, all with 12 months, same as cash. $250 minimum purchase. So don't just stand there. Get over to King's. We'll give you a place to sit down. King's is great buys, plus a whole lot more. Morgan Avenue.
So where's the fire offer?
Where's my father? Papa, look what came. My acceptance letter to college.
College is a wonderful thing, mind.
You can have a fine life here. What do you need from college?
Remember how we talked about my going away to college? I know what you're going to say. But at college, they have professors from all over the world. And it'll all help me with my wanting to be a writer. Hey, kid, what are you going to write about?
For over 150 years, America's universities have given kids from everywhere the chance to pursue their dreams through an education. And what their dreams have given back to us is immeasurable.
So what do you think?
Well, Arthur, I think if that writing thing doesn't work out, you'll make one heck of a salesman.
We'll be back after these messages from your local stations. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
How can you pay your bills?
Without writing a check, it's easy. With Bank by Phone from INB, punch a few buttons and your
Bills are paid. Punch a few more and get your account balances.
or transfer money between your accounts.
With IMB's Bank by Phone, you don't have to write checks, buy stamps, or lick envelopes.
Bank by Phone is quick, convenient, and
Only IMB has it, so give it a try.
With Bank by Phone from INB, we're working for you.
just give us a call.
It's a fact. More people prefer Rogers Jewelers. Why? Because for 1 week only, every lady's ring, not just a few, but every lady's ring is half price. That's right. For 1 week only, Rogers' entire selection of ladies' diamond and gemstone rings. Half price. Every diamond, dinner ring, ruby, emerald, sapphire, blue topaz, amethyst, opal, and coin ring. Every sweetheart ring, half price. Wow, half price. 1 week only, all ladies' rings, half price at Rogers.
This Thursday, Homer tries to buy Lisa's love with a pony.
I know you love me, so you don't get squat.
On The Simpsons, Thursday on Fox.
Farm Bureau Insurance halftime report. 57 first half points by Indiana and Ted Kitchell. Indiana got off to a great start, but then right at that 10.5 minute mark, it looked like a couple, 2 or 3 minutes of slowdown, and you and I are holding our breath. But boy, just after that, Calvert Chaney started the charge, and Indy had a great first half.
I imagine Coach was holding his breath a little bit too. I know that he's continued to be concerned that his team will play so well for a 10-minute period, and then for 2 or 3 minutes, give everything back that they've done. But Calvert Chaney, Greg Graham, really important and really did a nice job offensively, but my feeling is that Damon Bailey was the real key. He came out, really got him started, got him moving in the right direction, and really showed some emotion, which is so important to his game. He really was having some fun, and the other guys could really see it in him tonight.
All right, let's see how that happened as we look at first half stats.
Well, you take a look, St. John's, again, Indiana holding their opponents to 41% shooting. St. John's under that at 38. Indiana shooting 63%, getting 35 shots, so really doing a nice job.
Good free throw shooting there by Indiana. Look at the three-point shots.
Three-point shooting, IU 4 of 7. St. John's not a very good three-point shooting team, only 1 of 3. Turnovers, you can see 10. Indiana only 6 in rebounds, 21-14. Indiana scoring, you can see Calvert Chaney and Greg Graham obviously leading, but Damon Bailey averaging only about 10 so far this year, already has 10 at halftime.
And now let's visit with the Farm Bureau Insurance Project XL guest of the game. The Indiana High School Athletic Association joins Farm Bureau Insurance in sponsoring Project XL, the creative communications contest that challenges all high school students to express themselves on important social issues. Our guest is Mildred Ball, Assistant Commissioner with the IHSAA. Mildred, what kind of students enter the Project XL competition?
Well, Project XL wants students from all backgrounds to enter.
They can express themselves through public speaking or music, through writing, television, or art. But other things are involved.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Our topic this year is peer pressure. Psychology is important, so is sociology and even history. But peer pressure is of concern to everyone, and especially to teenagers. High school students benefit much from participating in athletic and activity programs.
Thank you, Mildred. Don't forget, the deadline for entries this year is January 15th. Ask your teachers for more information about Project Excel.
We're at halftime. Let's take a look now at some first half highlights. Calbert Cheney.
Couple quick highlights. One that's very exciting for all IU fans. Nice alley-oop pass. Calbert Cheney putting it away. And for St. John's, they did have some positive moments. Scott, nice, big, strong guy inside. We're going to see a lot of these guys in the Big Ten, and we're not going to be able to give them post position, or we're going to be in trouble down inside.
57-29 at the half, and we'll be back after these messages.
Who's this, Dad?
That's our Farm Bureau insurance agent. She insures our car.
Oh. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
There's the lady who insures our car.
She insures our house, too.
Isn't it nice to know that the same Farm Bureau insurance agent who insures your car and your home can insure your life, too?
God, you're everywhere.
Call your Farm Bureau insurance agent for all your insurance needs.
He's history's most celebrated quarterback. Now he's coaching Budweiser in Bud Bowl 5. Yes, some men are born to be football legends.
Give every last drop. We're going to win. We're Budweiser.
Of course, some men aren't.
We'll win it, because we're Bud Light.
You ever wonder how they get the strings in these things?
Bud Bowl 5. It's back. Get your ticket where you buy Bud, Bud Light, and Bud Dry. Someone will win $1 million in cash.
Sure, you work in an office.
What do you mean 8?
But you live on the phone, which is why you should know about Centranet service from GTE. With Centranet, you get the features and flexibility of the most sophisticated business telephone system. Not the high cost of one.
It's really, really difficult for me right now.
Because while you spend most of your time on the phone,
you hung up when he's gone now.
There's no need to spend most of your money.
Time now for the Napa important part of the second half.
And we're still beating on that intensity. We're going to try to maintain intensity for the second 20 minutes of this half, but it's something we've not had a lot of good things happen this year as far as playing 40 minutes. Let's see if we can't get another good 20 minutes out of this team tonight.
Save on great holiday gift ideas for under $20 like this Napa toy truck with real truck sounds at Napa Auto Parts. Ready now for second half action. St. John's will have the ball. Indiana and St. John's both go with the starting lineups. St. John's is going to have to come up with a different type of way to score points. The offense, Indiana took them right out of their offense in this first half. They bring Scott outside. He feeds into Derek Brown, an easy basket. And here's a change as St. John's goes to a full court pressure. 2-2-1 zone trap. Indiana gives it to Bailey to bring it across. Cheney outside. Now Cheney in the corner. He's moving well without the ball to get the shots. Henderson and Graham able to pull the board down. Bailey trying to create. Back to Graham. And the three-pointer is good. Passed by Henderson.
Starts off right where he left off in the first half. They took him out for a couple minutes at the end, but he comes right back in and sticks a three-pointer.
Graham's got 20. Shot by Scott, falls short. Bailey with the long lead to Cheney, and the layup. Good fast break by Indiana.
Nice recognition by Damon Bailey. Got it off the board, saw Calbert Cheney streaking out front, laid it out in front of him, made an easy layup for him.
62-31 Indiana. Make that 33 as another layup, and this is part of the defense we've seen falter. Drives to the basket.
Coach Knight can't be very happy with the defensive effort. The first couple times down the floor, they've given up very easy layups, not communicating, not doing a very good job of helping one another out on the defensive end.
Alan Henderson with that turnover. He tried a lob pass into Nover, a little over Nover's outreached arm. St. John's goes into Scott. He misses, and an offensive rebound by Middleton, and he puts it right back in.
It's important against this press to really attack it the first couple times because usually a team will pull it back off. It's important for Damon to really take the ball at this press, get it in the middle, and attack it.
Shot fake by Graham gives him a drive in the lane, and then the dish to Henderson draws the foul. Make a good point on that press, Ted. It does seem to pick the pace of the game up, which is what St. John's has to do to try to overcome this large margin.
Exactly, that is what they're looking to do, but you can really take it to your advantage, I think, if you take it down, get the ball in the places where it needs to be, like in the middle of the court. You're going to get 2-on-1, 3-on-2 situations, and when you get those situations, you have to take advantage of them, as IU has not yet against the press.
Henderson off on the free throw, and Indiana on the lane violation. Well, no, on a foul. That's Nover pushing off, trying to get position. Draws his second foul. Indiana, a slow start 2 minutes into this second half. Kane outside. This is Lyson, guarded by Bailey. Scott's really working inside. Henderson with the defense behind him. Kane on the drive, a wild shot is missed. Chaney on the board. Indiana tries the break. Again, the lob pass to Nover. This time deflected out of bounds by St. John's.
I think Greg Graham knew that there wasn't really a pass there at that point in time, but he got kind of caught in the middle there, and he had to go ahead and throw it. But again, not a very good fast break opportunity. It'd be better to pull that one out and set up your half-court offense.
Henderson's lost the bandage off his elbow. They've retrieved it from the floor. It stopped bleeding, so he doesn't need another one on right now, as he takes a fadeaway jumper on the inbounds pass, and he hits it.
Coach Knight obviously telling them to come off that screen and shoot that jump shot, because I don't think that's a shot that Coach is usually going to tell them to take.
65-35, a 30-point lead by Indiana. Middleton tries the baseline. He's short. Henderson starts the break. It goes to Bailey. Tough shot that time. He never really had his body faced toward the basket, but he draws the foul.
I don't think he really had any intention of really getting a good shot. He knew that he had the guy out of position. He was going to try to get the foul. You can see right here he kind of puts his head down. He knows right away that guy's out of position, and he's going to take advantage of the opportunity.
That foul on Kane. Substitutes for St. John's. Barrett now in the lineup.
2 free throws. Number 22, David Bailey.
Midland also back in for St. John's. Bailey's got the first free throw.
On the defensive end, it looks like this half so far to me, lads, that St. John's able to move the ball around the perimeter much easier than they were able to in the first half.
Bailey hits 2. He's now 13 of 20 on the season, improving on his free throw accuracy now. 67-35. Right at 17 minutes left in the half. And that's how to stop that perimeter play, as Greg Graham anticipated that pass, was able to prevent it from going inside.
That time the guard was not able to come down and get rid of the ball. They took away the passing lanes, and that's the kind of defense we're used to seeing Indiana play.
St. John's inbounds, and a whistle as Greg Graham comes up with the steal, but he's also going to draw the foul. He thought he picked it clean, and he was down at the other end. Brian Mahoney, a little more enthusiasm shown by his team here in the second half.
We take a look at the steal.
That was close.
That was real close. Jody Sylvester came over as if he was pretty sure it was a foul, though, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Midland with the inside position Too late to guard the guy when he's got the ball on the block. Nover has to foul to prevent the layup.
I'm sure a lot of people get tired of us continuing to beat on the fact of post play, but post play is so very important, especially once you get into the Big Ten and you're facing teams like Michigan with a lot of big people. Purdue has some good post players. Throughout the conference, Thunderbird, you're going to see a lot of great post players. If we don't start taking the post position away, people are not only going to score a lot of points down low, but we're going to get in a lot of foul trouble.
The 6 top teams in the Big Ten this year all have a powerful center who will be bigger than Matt Nover. So a very important point there that Ted Kitchell makes as Midland hits the free throws. 67-37. The full court press again by St. John's. This time Indiana goes to Cheney, and he draws a foul as he crosses the line. This one on Kane. Only 3 team fouls, out of bounds to Indiana.
That time much more active on the press. Cheney got it, turned, and took it up the court, made something happen, and he got fouled.
Graham starts the offense. It's a 1-4 now by Indiana. Alan Henderson really aggressive on the offense. That baseline jumper again.
Nice screen, nice read by Alan Henderson. He popped back when the guy went around behind the screener, was able to get a nice easy jump shot.
Barrett outside goes to Brown, a three-pointer, and he's got it. Derek Brown. 69-40. Here's the press. Indiana playing pretty smart right now. Watch that corner. Bad place to pick the dribble up, but Bailey gets out of trouble and drives the lane. Back to Graham on the drive. Tough shot. Henderson comes away with it. A steal by St. John's. 2 on nobody. Bailey trying to come from behind, but can't stop the basket by Derek Brown.
Derek Brown really come out this second half. I think that's his 4th basket this second half. I think he hit a 3-pointer in the first half, so he's really doing a nice job.
16 points for Brown. Graham on the drive. This is where the press really takes Indiana out of their offense.
Indiana has to attack that press, but you can see they're just a little bit off balance.
15:33 left. 69-42, and we'll be back after these messages.
To getting around town, nothing outperforms your phone. So make the call before you make the drive.
Honey, come on, dinner's ready. Oh, and I got some Edie's Mocha Almond Fudge for dessert.
Yow! Edie's. Evidently, it's not your normal Mocha Almond Fudge.
They go. Please stand by the roll, Take beat.
Without Coal, you'd never be able to watch a basketball game without a ticket. That's right. The game you've been watching has been brought to you by coal. Coal that makes the electricity that makes television possible. And a lot of other things we'd have a hard time doing without. We're Amex Coal Industries. Just think of us as a basketball power.
Great job, people.
Our Napa important part of the second half was continued intensity by Indiana, and they've shown it so far here in the first 5 minutes. Save on great holiday gift ideas for under $20, like this Napa toy truck with real truck sounds at Napa Auto Parts. 69-42, Indiana leads, 15:31 left in the second half. Chris Reynolds checks in at that timeout. Indiana goes with Reynolds and Bailey, Henderson, Evans, and Calvert Cheney inside. A pass with good pressure by Indiana leads to another St. John's turnover.
Chris Reynolds comes in the game, and right away you can see he makes him turn the ball over. You look at the field goals. Indiana 4 of 8, St. John's 5 of 8, both shooting very well this half.
St. John's has come out to score some points. A 4-on-2 advantage. Reynolds nearly travels. The pass finally gets to Henderson for the jam.
That was ugly, but it finished off looking very good if you just saw Henderson dunking it, but it was ugly other than that.
9 points now for Henderson. Good balanced scoring by Indiana, led by Calvert Cheney. Brown outside. They go into Scott and back to Midland. There's the advantage of getting that ball inside the 3-second lane.
Great interior passing by Scott. Really a good job of passing the ball inside.
Again, Reynolds tries to break the press on the drive. It's nearly stolen. And Henderson misses the 10-foot jumper. And that pass is out of bounds. Damon Bailey snuck up and created that turnover.
Some people have a real instinct for doing that. I was never one to be able to sneak back. I guess being 6'8" and slow was the reason. But Damon always kind of sneaks back there when you least expect it. And the guy just had no place to throw it, and he just threw it right out of bounds.
Derek Brown looked like he got poked there right in the eye. He came out at that stop in the action. Indiana's got the ball. Green goes for the steal. That leaves Bailey a lane to the basket, but he's short on the shot. Kane picks his dribble up. Barrett tries to go on the drive, but a travel. Move that pivot foot before the ball hit the ground. St. John's bench not happy with that call. Brian Mahoney up and walking around. Reynolds still trying to dribble through this trap. That time he gets rid of it. And it leads to an Indiana basket as Nova receives the pass. And Ted Kitzel, that's going up strong.
He went up very strong. He got hacked pretty good. He was still able to get it in. I don't know exactly how, but against the press, I think it's very important for the players to understand you get the ball in Damon Bailey's hands, good things are going to happen. Right here, you got an easy basket, and hopefully Matt Nova can go make it a three-point play, but if you get the ball in Damon Bailey's hand in a half-court type situation against a type of press, he's going to make good things happen.
Midland draws that foul. Nova at the line. He's short, and that bounces off. He misses a chance for that three-point play. 73-44, Indiana leads. Just under 14 minutes left. I think it looks like they're trying to post up inside, Ted.
Which they should be with their height advantage. Alan Henderson hacks him pretty good there. I think Coach Knight brought in Chris Reynolds to see if he couldn't pick up the defensive intensity a little bit. The team hasn't been quite as intense. Hadn't committed. St. John's hadn't turned the ball over near as much as they did in the first half.
That drive by Mitchell Foster. He goes to the line. First foul on Henderson. Coach Knight on the Indiana bench. Pat Knight will be checking in as Foster takes this free throw.
Substitution, Indiana, number 25, Pat Knight, replaces number 2.
Cheney leaves. He's got 23 points, just 2 here in the second half. See what Indiana tries to do offensively. I know they looked at Cheney a lot. With him out there, Bailey's going to have to take control and look to somebody else to do the scoring. Foster nails the second one. 73-46. Zone trap. Bailey easily breaks it up to Henderson. He put his head down, went right to the basket. And he missed on the shot, but a foul called on Foster. And he is surprised. He was on his back and got called for that foul.
Yeah, they didn't call it on the initial contact. They called it after Allen came down. I don't know if he grabbed his hand or if the official missed it. But you can see they don't call it here. After he gets a hold of it here,
is when
they called it. So
I tell you, Henderson went to the basket hard that time, though.
That's good to see. Kind of made up his mind once he got it. He's had a couple open opportunities and he's not capitalized. So that time he really took it to the basket.
All right, interesting lineup now for Indiana as Greg Graham checks in. Bailey leaves. So both Bailey and Cheney on the bench now for Indiana as Henderson nails the free throw. Graham and Reynolds at the guard. Pat Knight and Henderson are the forwards. Matt Nover's in at center. And they go right inside to Green, or to Foster. He's not able to hit it. Indiana starts to break. And now slows down. Man-to-man defense now, half court.
It's important for this offense to keep their spacing. They get down low, they get on the baseline, and coach is really looking for them to stay up more around the free throw line and keep their spacing.
They do have the luxury, though, to run the shot clock. A bad pass that time, but Nova able to save it. 15 seconds now on the shot clock. Nova with the layup is missed, and his rebound also just off the rim. Foster with the rebound. And a whistle. That's going to go on Nova inside. Charles Midland was trying to gain inside position, and if so, that'll be 4 on Matt Nova. Not a good foul, really, because it didn't look like the play was really coming into him.
It wasn't a good foul, and I really have to question whether or not it really had a lot to do with the play at all. But Jody Sylvester obviously thought it did.
Midland on the drive. You saw Graham step in just a little bit there to make that a more difficult shot. And St. John's not happy with this call. And it's going to be a foul. Goes against Foster. His third, team 6, so Indiana will be at the line on the next foul.
Both calls looked like incidental contact. Today we talked to Rich Falk the other night.
Pat Knight with the lob to Henderson. After the game, stop by your neighborhood 76 station for quality 76 gasolines or convenience items. A great play for Alan Henderson. Pat Knight really seeing the floor a little bit more in today's ball game. Here's Barrett with the turnaround jumper. Graham goes high for the board. Good pressure outside by Green. It's tapped away and knocked out of bounds. We've got a timeout. We'll be back after these messages from your local stations. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
In towns across America, people are saying the same thing.
Juicy.
Juicy.
Juicy on the inside. Crispy. Crispy on the outside.
Pardon me? Just like people are saying around here. And it's all about Hardee's Fried Chicken. The fried chicken people prefer over KFC original recipe 63 to 37.
That's better.
Much better. Better than Kentucky Fried Chicken.
So come by Hardee's now and get 8 pieces of our new fried chicken with 4 free biscuits, just $5.99.
Are you ready for some real food?
Terrific.
Union Federal Savings Bank presents checking the way it should be. Dependable, convenient, reliable. A choice of 5 checking accounts. Low minimum balance requirements that don't feel like a penalty. No unexpected monthly fees. No per check charge. And regular checking with no monthly service charge when you maintain a balance of only $25. It's the way checking should be and is at Union Federal, the bank that puts you first.
Grease Monkeys, more than an oil change. Now 3 locations in Evansville and Newburgh.
Always free parking and free admission every day at Windsor Oaks Teletrack Grayville. Plus the best in thoroughbred and harness racing. Call for post times and race schedules every day at Windsor Oaks Teletrack. I-64 and Route 1, Grayville.
Where Indiana leads St. John 77 to 46. You can see the fast break do a nice job of breaking the press. Pat Knight comes down, gets eye contact with Alan Henderson. And that's a good percentage shot. I think Coach likes that.
Indiana's back on the floor. Henderson's had a great second half. He's got 11 second half points now, 13 for the game. So as Chaney leaves and Bailey's on the bench, Henderson seems to be picking up on the scoring.
Henderson really been active the last 2 or 3 games. Not only been in scoring, double figures scoring, but also been in double figures rebounding, and that's very, very important for Indiana.
16 points and 10 rebounds a game these last 3 for Henderson. A bad pass that time stolen. Indiana's got a chance on the action. The loose ball. Pat Knight hits the deck, and Indiana's going to get it out of bounds.
I think it's a fumble, and it's 1st and 10, and we're going the other way.
Derek Brown back in the lineup, and Maurice Brown also for St. John's. Let's watch the action. Green tries to save it. Comes off the leg of Luke and out of bounds to Indiana. Graham on the drive. Reynolds over to Knight. Henderson, a good pass inside, and Nover gets the easy layup. The way to beat that press, Ted, best on the pass without letting that ball touch the floor.
Alan Henderson and Matt Nover getting better with each game of being able to read one another, know where they are inside, know how they're going to move, and it really showed right there.
Derek Brown outside, pretty good pressure that time by Graham, even a left-handed shot, so he's able to hit it. 79-48 Indiana.
The coach has to be happy with Derek Brown. He has really looked good here in the second half.
Matt Nover outside with the jumper, only a couple passes, but he did have his feet set when he went for that shot.
And if they're going to back off of him, he's got to take that shot, make him come out there, kind of open the middle, give other people some room in there to maneuver.
8 points for Nover. They're really looking to Foster inside, and he's going to draw another foul. Mitchell Foster, 6'9", 255, a senior, so he's got experience and some bulk in there.
He is bulky, too. He's big and strong, and we are having a lot of problems with him inside. He hasn't really hurt us as far as once he gets the ball being able to score, but we continue to fight with him in there, and he's been able to get some fouls on him.
Reynolds comes out. Todd Leary in the ball game. Foster's going to be at the line. He started 20 games last year for St. John's at center.
Substitution, Indiana, number 40, Calvert Cheney.
Calvert Cheney checks back in for Nova.
Coach Knight playing a lot of different lineups. I think more than anything, trying to see how each of the guys is going to adjust to the different personnel he's got on the floor. So well, they've done a nice job here in the second half.
It's recognition. You've got to see who else is on that floor and how you're going to attack offensively and defensively your opponent.
Exactly. It's so important. I mean, you got certain people out there to do certain things, and right now Calvert Cheney and Greg Graham are the guys that ought to be scoring the points, and people ought to be getting them open.
Cheney with a blind pass, no one there, easily stolen by Luke. He pulls up on the jumper outside and hits it. Sergio Luke makes it 81-52. Indiana still a comfortable lead. We are just 10 minutes, 10 seconds left in the half. Second half that's left in the ball game. Todd Leary leaves his feet that time and makes the turnover.
Bad pass. That's the second time down. We've picked up a dribble. We don't have any place to go with it, and then we're forced to try to throw it. St. John's doing a nice job of filling the passing lanes, and right there wasn't a lot of contact, but he did force him out of bounds. It's got to be a foul.
Which sends St. John's back to the line. And that's a good way to try to make this comeback. Right from that line, 18 points now for Derek Brown. But Ted, Indiana offensively, they've got to take advantage of this shot clock. They've got the big lead. The game's running down the last 10 minutes. There's no need for any quick plays.
Once in a while, Indiana gets into a position where they get to moving too quick offensively. I think that they need to set better screens, come off the screens, and let things happen. They all get to move, and five guys get to running around, and nothing's really happening. Or if they would take their time, set good screens, I think they would get more positive results.
Brown misses on the free throw. Indiana sets their offense. Let's count the passes. There's one tonight. Henderson's got it. Two passes and a shot from the baseline, and the rebound by Luke. I think the team needs to get to those 4 or 5 passes.
And the shot by Alan Henderson. Alan Henderson's a good shooter, but still he's the guy that needs to be inside, and Cheney should be shooting the jump shot.
But that allows a quick transition that gives Brown a chance to go for the three-pointer. He's got 22 points, so the tempo's set. A quick shot by Indiana gives St. John's the advantage at the other end. 81-56, Indiana leads. And again, coach doesn't look at the score as much as the play that's out there. And that's what's frustrating about this year's team. And a whistle.
And I know there's a lot of people sitting at home and they're saying, hey, we are ahead 81-56. Come on, guys, get off of it. But these guys, I mean, they've got to forget about the score. They've got to continue to set good screens. They've got to act like there's 9 minutes left in the game and it's a 60-60 ball game. And because there are going to be a lot of games they play this year when they're going to have to come down, set screens, and get good shots and get the people that should be getting the shots, get them the shots. So far, not doing a very good job.
Albert Cheney misses on that free throw, but Henderson able to get the rebound, and he goes back up strong. 83-56. Indiana. Reynolds with the good pressure at half court. Foster really set a good pick that time on Pat Knight. Luke misses the shot, but St. John's with the rebound.
Luke's really got a funny way of shooting that basketball. Kind of rotates with side spin on it, which is kind of funny for a good shooter as he is.
Luke on the drive this time, very much an offensive player.
Number 3.
Personal foul. Number 44, Alan Henderson.
That foul goes against Henderson. Luke's going to be at the line. He's 6'8", 215. Originally from Madrid, Spain, but played high school ball here at Hopkinsville, Kentucky. He was third in the voting for Mr. Basketball a couple years back and played in that Indiana-Kentucky All-Star game.
Replacing Alan Henderson.
So he's familiar with Indiana basketball. Matt Nover checks in and Henderson leaves.
Indiana not as active on the defensive end this half. Already we've got 9 fouls. I don't think St. John's ever reached the penalty in the first half, so IU a much better job of moving their feet and getting in position in the first half.
Seems as the game wears down. There's Coach Knight giving Henderson a little lesson on foot positioning. As the game wears down, the players may get tired, and that's caused extra fouling on defense. 83-56. Indiana with the lead. Leary's open for a shot. One pass and a quick shot. St. John's with the board. Mitchell Foster. Brown outside. Goes to Derek Brown. Brown wants to take that three-pointer. He likes that baseline, but he moved his feet that time and gives the ball back to Indiana.
But he's working hard, and they're looking for him, they're screening for him. He's really doing a good job of getting himself open. Give him a lot of credit.
Pat Knight outside. He goes inside to Nover. Now there's an exception. On one pass, when you got the ball in the block, a chance to go up, that's a good time to move quickly on the offense, a chance for a three-point play, or the foul as you see here.
Pat Knight takes it inside. Matt's got good position. Foster really had good position there and probably could have blocked the shot, but he's more interested in knocking somebody down, I think, or knocking the ball out of bounds. Anyway, Matt gets a chance to go to the free throw line.
Damon Bailey checks back in for Calvert Cheney. Bailey with 12 points. Started off real quick in the scoring end, but then he went over to more of the assist nature.
Well, I think it's a real key here to see if Damon Bailey can get them back to playing. Once again, I've mentioned it before, but he came out tonight and played so well. Let's see if he can get them back into an offense and get them to take a little time off the clock, get the offense up a little bit, back cutting, get some easy layups.
Nover's got a second chance here at the line. And again, off the front of the rim, goes back to the backboard, and then misses again. He misses 2 that time. St. John's comes right back down. They go inside to Middleton. He gets the ball in the block and gets the layup. That foul goes on Pat Knight.
You can see they bring it right down the floor. They don't do anything fancy. They just throw it right down in on the block. The guy gets it, kind of lowers his shoulder, puts up the nice shot, gets a chance at the three-point play.
Knight's third foul. Middleton trying for the three-point play and gets the roll on the rim. With 7:56 left and the score 83-59, Indiana will be back after these messages.
Why are you drinking so much coffee, Charlie?
I'm about to have a Farm Bureau Insurance client account review and evaluation.
It's just a fancy name for saying your Farm Bureau insurance agent has this great new service designed to review all your insurance policies. You know how fast things change.
Client account review and evaluation.
C-A-R-E.
Farm Bureau Insurance really does care. So what are you so worried about?
We were trying to solve the mystery of beechwood aging. Beechwood aging isn't some huge, mysterious secret. It's a nearly forgotten example of brewmaster's art. So expensive, so time-consuming that Bud's the only brewer that still does it.
If it's not beechwood aged, it's just not right.
Okay, so how do you make beer if it's not Beechwood aged?
Yeah. Some things are better left unknown.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence. The experience to get the job done right and a reputation for quality. Having what you need on hand, putting the parts together for the best possible performance. Being in the pros takes a special brand of confidence, and for professionally trained technicians, that confidence is CarQuest. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
We're back, 7:56 left in the game. Indiana still a comfortable lead. Let's look at some of the shooting now. First half, Indiana burned the nets. Let's see, that is 63. That can't be right for St. John's. It is in the second half, though. 63% shooting for St. John's here in the second half. Pat Knight tries to go inside to Nover. Looks like they're really set up with the 4 outside. Ted looking for Nover to get the pass inside. And there he does from Pat Knight to layup.
That time they got their spacing. Everybody stayed outside, let Matt work inside, and everything worked out a lot better.
85-59. That's Damon Bailey now with the defense. Lamont Middleton at 6'6" and 230, a real advantage for him with Bailey trying to post. Here you see Damon gets beat to the spot.
Yeah, he got beat to the spot. He went ahead and went on behind him. He was going to play the defense, but they obviously thought he was holding him inside.
Alan Henderson back in the lineup. Nover comes out. Brian Evans is in. Damon Bailey is out, so a lot of substitution by Indiana here. Middleton's able to get the first. This is the second game in a row now that all 5 IU starters have scored in double figures, and that's going to be important come Big Ten play. Balanced scoring, probably with Cheney leading the way, but he's got to have help from his teammates. 85-61, a 24-point lead for Indiana. Leary cuts in the middle and makes a tough shot over Scott. Indiana had a 28-point lead in the first half, so actually St. John's has outscored Indiana by 2 and now by 5 as Luke hits the three-pointer for his 7th point. So exactly what Coach Knight has been talking about. Really, this second half pretty even, actually a St. John's advantage. Reynolds outside, he goes to Leary. Henderson's really looking for a shot here in the second half. Misses that baseline jumper. St. John brings it up in a hurry. Scott's trying to post up inside on Henderson. And he's got it. And he's got the baseline shot off the board. Sean L. Scott. He's got 10, so Indiana's done a good job on him. Except in that situation, steal from behind as Kane stripped Reynolds. And Reynolds is forced to foul to prevent the layup.
Little personal frustration there, taking it out. At least he did prevent the easy layup, but not a very good job of ball handling on this end.
Good steal there as Kane just coming from behind.
Very good. He's learned that on the playgrounds in New York. He went in there and able to knock it away from him. Laz, you played on one of the great teams at IU in '75. You guys had a lot of games where you go in at halftime, you're probably up by 20 points. What did you have somebody that would come out and kind of get you guys going in the second half to get you moving in the positive direction?
You know, Coach would start that first 5 again, but and I'd get to play a little bit even off the bench. But boy, after about 7-8 minutes, the rest of the guys would come in, and that'd be our time on the bench. This team, we looked to Buckner a lot to do that, and then the rest of the guys picked up on it. That's what this team's looking for, is that leader come out and keep that intensity.
Yeah, Damon did a nice job coming out to start the game, but we really lacked that leadership the last 8-10 minutes here in the game. We really haven't had any verbal leadership from anybody from that time.
Pat Knight with the pass from Henderson, and he knocks down the shot. Good offensive sequence there.